but I think those of you who have seen the movie, for the purposes of this discussion, I'll assume you all have, I think would agree that Jackie Earl Haley played Rorschach absolutely nailed it. I mean, he was the character, and it was quite uncanny because I was there for a couple of days of the shooting, and he's a very friendly, lively guy, Jackie, as I call him. But when he put even the trench coat on, let alone the mask, and assumed the character, people would take a step backwards because he suddenly became rather threatening. And I think that comes over so well in the movie, and also his rather kind of jerky way of moving. I'd never quite visualised that, but when I saw it, I thought, yeah, that's exactly right. He was so much into it that he had a long discussion with me about the shapes of the word balloons. Like, did this mean that Rorschach was now more disturbed than when he spoke previously, because I'd drawn the word balloon a little more jagged? So the attention that these guys put into it was uncanny.
Isn't he the one that made his own reel for Zach to see, and made his own mask and shot it in his living room or something?
Yeah, I think he did. He did an embarrassing homemade audition tape. But he was perfect for the part, absolutely perfect.
Was that beyond the DVD?
I don't know.
Zach, I think, said that would not be in the DVD. Or Jackie said that. One of them said that.
And again, I mean, this again is an iconic shot, and this is one of those things that when John first showed it to me, I went, "Oh, John, no, you can't put bright blue in a background like that. You can't do it." But now I look at it and I love it, and I'm really pleased that John is a strong enough character that he didn't let me talk about some of his colour choices, because this stuff I think is cool. And again, in the movie, this is what the movie feels like. It's got this lurid feel to it.
That for me is a very important plan as well, because that's actually, I had to do an example for the DCS, which was Len Wayne, was it?
Yeah.
At that time, so that was the first page I did, it's called a guide example to get the job anyway. So.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that. And
And
despite that, you got the job.
I did.
I think this is another one where you can maybe click forward. Has this got the photographic equivalent? Yeah, this is, and again, as you can see, I mean, it's just got the mood and the film. The only thing they did change in the movie, again, if you flip back, was that they didn't have electric cars, but actually that they do at the very end, as you know, and that fits in with the kind of theme of the movie, that it's about free energy and it's about things. So I was a little disappointed at first when I saw they just had regular kind of New York taxi cabs, but then when at the very end I saw there was an electric car, again, that made sense. So. Oh yeah, now this is Laurie at her dressing table, and these ads that we did 4 of them. There was Rorschach, Dr. Manhattan, the comedian. I sound like Nightingale in the movie, don't I? It was me, it was Sil Spectre. But anyway, there were 4 of these posters. See, I should have got the part. There were 4 of these posters originally, and then we did the Night Owl one and the Sil Spectre one were done as an artist to make a complete set, because they wanted to do a portfolio of all the images from it. And again, this, I think, if you flip forward, is this is the final ink drawing. Then hopefully you've got the supernaturally gorgeous, I think, we'll agree, Malin Ackerman in exactly that pose, and that's one of my favourite costumes. I won't tell you John's reaction to it, because we're coming back to no, it doesn't. Go on. Oh, is that it? Is that the end of the slideshow? Is that it? Oh my goodness. Oh, back to the bar.
The purely observation, right? Is it? Do you think it's deliberate? So when you look at the other images, you actually look at reflection of the mirror on this one. There's nothing in the picture, but when you go to the film one,
yeah,
it's nice the fact you do actually get a picture of what I think is actually a mother.
Oh, is it? I hadn't seen that detail. Well, she's in the doorway or something. Is there a doorway?
If you look in the middle mirror,
yeah.
I think that's it.
Well, I mean, that's great. I mean, that's one of the things I'm really pleased about with the movie as well. Not only is it sort of very, very faithful to what we did, but it actually expands on what we did in a sympathetic way. And it's like, I wish I'd thought of that, you know. And I'll tell you something else, as a wish I thought of that moment. And you can all get your graphic novels out and have a look at this. In the very first issue, there's a scene where Dan and Laurie in Raphael's restaurant, and there's sort of various people sitting around having something to eat. And what Alan and I wanted to suggest was that the kind of sexual morals of this world were a bit different. And in the foreground are two middle-aged men, very respectable looking, sort of holding hands with their arms around each other, obviously gay and obviously out on a date. But somebody has pointed out on the internet that this could be Captain Metropolis and Hooded Justice, because one of them's got like a moustache that we see the guy who supposedly was Hooded Justice, and it's kind of, they weren't killed after all, but they were actually gay, and they're now living happily, you know, under their aliases in New York. And we never had that in mind, but it's such a wonderful little tying up of a loose end that I'm inclined to say, maybe you know. Than we thought, you know. So when you get your graphic novel, have a look at that, and that's, you know, I think that you can endlessly add things to Watchmen, and as long as they're in keeping with the general thing, they just make me and John look just more and more clever every time, you know. So should we have questions, Bob? Or?
I think we should have questions.
Go on, you got to have some questions.
I heard you drew some extra pages for the comic, for the movie, for the new ending. Or
Yes.
is that
Well, you know, Zach likes to storyboard everything when he does his movies, and his storyboard consisted of these big kind of oversized albums that had his drawings in them and whole pages and sequences out of the graphic novel. And what he wanted to see was how I would have drawn his ending to the movie if that had been the ending of the comic book. So I drew 3 pages as if they were Watchmen pages, and I found some of the original DC board that I'd drawn them on, and I used the same pens, and I did it in exactly the same technique, although my sort of approach has changed. And John agreed to colour them as if it was. So there are these 3 pages that look like lost Watchmen pages, and the one image that Zach used almost directly from that was where Laurie and Dr. Manhattan rematerialise in the wrecked New York, and they're kind of on the lip of the crater, and that's exactly what I drew there. But I did actually, because I so much enjoyed the experience of working on the movie, and I know Zach loves storyboards and loves that, I actually gave those 3 originals to Zach as a gift, because I thought he really deserved to have them.
so? Will we get a chance to see them ever? Or?
Yeah, you will. In fact, in one of the Titan books, also on sale, I believe in the foyer.
We've got to commend the Forbidden Planet crew for being so
Yeah.
psychic in advance. We don't even have a question to come up.
It's almost telepathic.
Unless that's actually one of the people from the stand.
He's here as our stooge.
Yes, well done.
Yeah. But in one of the Forbidden Planet books, I don't know if it's the art of the film or what, but they actually reproduce those 3 pages in there, and some of the character reference work that John and I did, which are like turnarounds of the movie characters. So, yeah, that's all in there for you trivia buffs. Okay. Somebody over there, is that at the end of the row?
With the Black Freighter DP, when they bring up Watchmen DP, are they going to bring up one that's got all the Black Freighter stuff in it? Because I know you filmed like the Black Island and the new stuff.
Yeah, well, actually, as I say, I've seen the movie now 7 times, and the 6th time I saw it was on my own in a sound booth in a studio in Los Angeles doing a DVD commentary on it, and it was a commentary on the full version, which is like 3.5 hours, which has got the Black Freighter stuff in it integrated into it, just as the Black Freighter is integrated into the comic. It's got the 2 Bernies on the corner, a lot more. Now, I know some people were a little frustrated with the movie that you only kind of glimpse them at the very end, but believe me, in the extended cut, they are there with all their interaction. The comic book comes alive as the kids reading it. It comes alive into animation. There are some other scenes as well. There's this has been on the internet, so I'm not telling tales out of school. There's the murder of Hollis Mason. There's a bit on Mars with Dan and with Laurie and John. There's a bit more of Laurie and the government operatives who are trying to contain her. So yeah, all that stuff is fleshed out, and it runs to about 3.5 hours, and it's a completely different movie. It has a completely different weight about it, and you know, those scenes kind of slow the pace a bit, which I know some people said with the movie it's a little breakneck, and I think you'll find with that, which I think would be called the director's cut, which is, you know, how Zach would have released it in time and so on, when constrained, you will be I'm not quite clear, and Bob might know better, whether the initial DVD release is going to